There are only 4 ways to make money. Did you know that? Neither 40 nor 400, just 4. Most of us are likely familiar with Robert Kyosaki's book titled Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but few people are aware that Kiyosaki also wrote the Cashflow Quadrant, which breaks down the 4 different types of income, explains how they function, and explains why this is the reason why the rich keep getting richer. Each of these categories is made up of 3 components: mindset, taxes, and cash flow. First, we have the employee quadrant, where most people start their careers. A person with an E-quadrant perspective is concerned with financial stability and workplace advantages, like retirement plans, health insurance, and regular paychecks. Safety is the employee's top priority. The E-quadrant's core concept is safety, since the security of a regular income appeals to it more than possible wealth that can come with greater risk. People in the A-quadrant earn money by working for a business or the government and exchanging their time for a set sum of money, whether it is a salary or an hourly wage. Nevertheless, people in this category can still make very big salaries, such as doctors, lawyers, and executives. However, the constraints in this quadrant make it challenging to accumulate wealth in this category alone. In this quadrant, an employee typically has little control over how much money will they be paid, making it more difficult to increase their own income since their boss controls their salary and the choice to increase their employees' income. A person in this category must rely solely on themselves to generate income, and there are only a few ways to do so. The most that someone in this category can do is postpone paying some of their taxes until later. The S quadrant stands for self-employed or self-business, which when someone decides to try out entrepreneurship and create income independently. The mindset of an S quadrant is to regain control and have the freedom to pursue a higher level of compensation than they would working at a job, so they decide to become an entrepreneur. For high earners in this category, their tax liability can go up to 40% or more of their income. The way people make money in this group is still by exchanging their time for money, but instead of doing so for a set sum, the self-employed do it for the possibility of making a profit. People in this category take a little bit more risk than those in the first category because there is no guarantee that they will make any money in this category. It depends entirely on their ability to sell and deliver on their promise. However, just as people can make no money in this category, there are others who can make a sizable income in this. The rules of the game are a little different than in the previous 2 categories, where the big quadrant represents big business, providing an environment where exponential development and wealth become more attainable. A person in the B quadrant has the idea that they should utilize leverage to raise their income tremendously. The 2 main types of leverage that are frequently used in this group are OPT and OPM. Instead of focusing on growth and further expansion like the self-employed do, people in this group are aiming to maximize the results of a firm and look for other people who can efficiently handle parts of their organization. The daily responsibilities of the company are now handled by a system or someone else rather than being a part of the B quadrant timetable anymore. The B quadrant's key phrase is at a fundamental level. Leverage is similar to how someone in the S quadrant makes money in that they need to be able to sell a good service and deliver on their promise, but the objective is to do it at a scale. In this category, the entrepreneur is no longer exchanging time for money or profit. Instead, they are using their time to develop a system that can effectively manage other people's time and resources to maximize cash flow for the business and its investors, as well as for themselves. Income is a tremendously alluring asset for larger investors. In the B quadrant, taxes operate quite differently from the first 2 groups. First, owners of these businesses frequently elect to receive the majority of their profits and dividends rather than a sizable salary because dividends are taxed at a maximum rate of 20%, while salaries are subject to a maximum tax rate of 37%, not including state, local, and social security taxes. Corporations have a maximum tax rate of 21%. Businesses can also relocate to take advantage of more advantageous tax laws. loss. One reason why many business people relocate to Puerto Rico is because the island has 4% corporate tax rate and no income, capital gains, or dividend income taxes. The tax loss in the category also turns debt into a kind of asset because businesses can use debt to invest more in expanding their operations than they actually make. Additionally, businesses have the option of rolling over all existing debt into new debt, effectively delaying debt payments indefinitely as long as they continue to use new debt to pay off existing debt. Also, businesses can benefit from write-offs and credits accessible specifically to businesses and organizations. Businesses can use their creativity to great use here because they can benefit from a variety of tax benefits. I think this is one of the craziest examples of playing the tax code. Donald Trump. After the death of his first wife, Trump buried her in one of his golf courses. I didn't even realize that you can use a golf course as a cemetery. Didn't see that coming. This indicates that this one activity resulted in tax evasion. Trump's tax reduction trifecta, which combined the elimination of three major taxes, the real estate tax, the income tax, and the sales tax. The great thing about the 𝐸-quadrant is that anyone can become an investor and take advantage of everything this quadrant has to offer, regardless of what quadrant they are in. But the cost of entry to become an investor is capital. The 𝐸-quadrant stands for investor. This quadrant is where money turns into wealth. There are various methods for obtaining this capital. Some people utilize the money they make from their professions to save and invest in stocks and other investments. Others may find inventive ways to obtain capital or partner with someone who does. The goal of someone in this category is the creation and preservation of wealth. The 𝐸-quadrant mindset is detaching time for money and accumulating assets that provide income without needing the investor's time. In many cases, the investor still uses some of their time to manage their investments and make decisions. The essential phrase for someone in the 𝐸-quadrant is wealth, and there are numerous ways people acquire wealth in the 𝐸-quadrant from conventional stock investments. People can get rich in the B-quadrant, but they can only obtain long-term riches by becoming effective in the 𝐸-quadrant, being a company owner angel, investing in real estate, private equity, and so forth. The goal is to have your assets provide positive cash flow so you can finance your lifestyle. The second is appreciation, which is the growth and value of an asset has over time aside from just the initial purchase price. The third is diversification, which is the ability to invest in assets that don't just provide income for the investor, but also provide other benefits. You want your assets to be worth more tomorrow than they are today, since this will increase your wealth and provide you power to avoid paying taxes on your third and fourth income. The 𝐸-quadrant offers many tax advantages that other quadrants simply do not, one of which being the potential for investors to essentially tax-free increase their wealth to large levels. In the world of real estate, there is a thing called a 1031 exchange that enables investors to sell an asset at a profit and defer their taxes to the use of money to buy more property. Typically, the tax is deferred until the next asset is sold, but many investors just continue using this strategy and continue rolling over their profits from one asset to the next bigger asset without paying any taxes. This is one of the most well-known examples of this. The 𝐸-quadrant is like a playground for the rich people, according to Robert Kyosaki, and many investors who don't want to sell their assets can simply borrow money and use those assets as collateral to buy more assets, allowing them to control even more wealth. However, as important as it is to understand the advantages of becoming an investor, learning how to invest is what really makes someone wealthy. And that is the end of our demonstration on how to master yourself to become an effective investor. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.